Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. This is Thigh Company here. We are live here on the Thigh Company Gaming channel on this early morning. Right now it's 10:49 a.m. Moscow time. Moscow time here in Russia on June 16th, 2025. Welcome everybody to the show. Glad to have you all here today. Hope your day is good and your month of June is even better. So yeah, man, what's been going on, man? Let's see. We did a lot of walking around yesterday. Really, we went to go watch the new or take a look at the new apartment. We took a lot of measurements in the new apartment. So that's been going on here. Hello in the name. Welcome in the name. Hey, hello. You're the first person to join today's live stream. Welcome. So that's good. Let's see what else has been going on. Um, so yeah, we went to the new apartment. Took a look at a bunch of stuff. My grandma went over there too, so it was our first time going to the new apartment, the second apartment, and we did notice a few like different nuances. I think the first big thing that comes to mind is that the guy who was doing the renovations, he claimed that he had put a bunch of like wax on the floor, and both me and my grandmother is like, no, they didn't put any wax. He's supposed to put like three layers. We think maybe he put in like one layer at most when we asked for like at least three. So it looks like it's something like the wood doesn't look like it was waxed or anything or laminated. Depending on how you put it, I think waxed is the right word here. Um, so we did a lot of that. Then we did the registration. The registration took up a lot of time as well. So I had to go, for anybody who's traveling as a foreigner has to go to and get registered here in Russia, usually at their like the government buildings here, or what do they call it? Well, here they called it Gosuslugi, but I'm trying to think how do you put it translated in English. It's basically like the government services building. Um, so yeah, we've been busy with that. I still haven't been able to find a VPN. All the VPNs that I've been told to use before, none of them seem to work. So I'm still having to research. I haven't been able to get in touch with a few other people though, so we'll see. Maybe if I can get in touch with some more family and friends, maybe somebody can find something that's good. Um, and I was talking with my cousin a lot the other day too. My uncle's first son, and he's basically was telling me that hey, without a VPN, it's not a lot that you can access. So have to kind of keep browsing and searching for there. Mena loves cookies. Hello, welcome, Mena loves cookies. Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining today's show. How you been doing? What else has been going on? Let's see. Yeah, Choppa finally got in touch with me here the other day. But he's been kind of writing a bunch of weird things that I've been trying to figure out. So he wrote to me a bunch of stuff, man, the other day. Alex has not gotten in touch with me yet, but he's probably deep in playing games of Dragon, for all I know. Um, let's see here. Let me open up my notifications here. Oh man, he keeps spamming the word "wake up, wake up, wake up," and then he says, "Buddy, buddy sounds sick, but I got sick too, the flu too." I'm not sick, man. I'm, if anything, more like groggy, tired, because man, the sleeping situation here kind of sucks. Um, and I end up falling asleep not because I'm sleepy, but just out of pure exhaustion, which is not really that fun. The other thing is, it's we have what's called white nights situation going on here. And the white nights, what I mean by that is that the sun doesn't really set. So that's kind of a problem. All right, Mena loves cookies says I went to the river today. Oh yeah, how was the river? How was your river trip? How's your trip to the river, Mena? Um, and then oh yeah, then he started trolling me on the "I'm not a robot" shirt that I wore the other day, man. I was like, what are you on about, man? It's a good shirt. It's comfortable. It's a soft shirt. It's good to walk around here with it. But I know people be hating on the shirt. But my cousin liked the shirt, so I don't know, man. And then what is this? Thy company shall. I shall indeed do that. Do what? Shall indeed do that. I'm gonna text and be like, hey, you need to get on our streams. You need to get on the live streams. Oh yeah, hey, here's Anna here. Guess who's here? We have welcome in the name and welcome Mena loves cookies. I went to the river today. The river was good. See? What did we do yesterday? I know yesterday. What did you do yesterday morning? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, I woke up.
Да, я буду.
I woke up and.
Well, how about this? You sit and talk about your day. Talk with Mena and in the name, because I gotta go eat some breakfast here, guys.
I need to eat my breakfast too. But
Well,
what
you
else?
sit for like at least 5-10 minutes.
So I woke up. So I went to the bathroom. Then my mom said, "What did you do? It's too early. Go to bed." So I fell asleep. Oh, waiting when my mom, when the time would be normal to stand up. And then I woke up. And then I couldn't fall asleep anymore. So I was sitting there waiting. And then my brother woke up. So we went in the kitchen and we were just hanging out there. And then we came back and then we just talked a little bit, lay down, and then guess what? Finally, my mom woke up. And then we came to the kitchen, ate breakfast, and then we had to go because we had to go say this. Wait. So we just went out with my mom's sister. So, and I love to hang out with her. So we did that the rest of the day, and then we came back, and then it was crazy. It happened again. My brother didn't want to sit on the couch. I had to pull him down. And then I made the bed by my own, and it didn't turn out as good as I thought it would be. It took longer than I expected it to be. So it took forever to make it, because then my brother laid down in the bed again, and I had to pull him up again. And I didn't like it. So that's all. That was yesterday, and I'll come back in a second. I guess he doesn't want to come back. So Well, well, the weather today, we'll see what's the weather today, but it might be loud because my grandpa is yelling because he didn't eat away 5 days or 8 even, and my mom is trying to feed him, so he might be loud. So and like now how how I understand we will go outside and then I don't know and then like go wherever we want, I guess. I forgot, so I don't get it really. And if you're asking what's this, it's my 3-pointer turtle. It just reminds me of my pet turtle that my mom gave away. So and then how I understand we will go to the bank, I think. I'm not sure. And then we're gonna go to a restaurant. It's called Stole. Я рассказываю, что мы, наверное, пойдем в столиком, как, наверное, дивно.
Okay. All right, guys, we're back. So, what was it? Yeah, Choppa was texting us that I think when we were asleep, probably. For him, it was during the day.
А как сказать, что ли? Правильно.
Что ли?
Что ли?
Ресторан, что ли?
Да. Как сказать?
No, say you went to a restaurant that's by the name of Stole and that they sell pies. We went to a restaurant the other day called Stole, which is like a German name, I think.
No question. Что ли? Что ли,
Well, I don't know.
Ты что ли сломал вазу? Или ты что ли...
Okay. Close the door, please. I got my grandfather yelling in the back.
Because there's still space between the doors.
Yeah, it's better. It's better. No, so. Хватит. Okay. So yeah, there's a nice restaurant called Stole, which is a restaurant that sells different kinds of pies. Like different meat or savory pies. So you might have like meat.
A rabbit pie.
Yeah, there was one that apparently it's like rabbit meat with mushrooms, but I don't think I've tried that one.
I don't really like it, but I think it's fine.
Okay. So, what else? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Chop. I texted him. I don't know if he's going to show up in the live stream or not. But yeah, the other issue is the sleeping situation. I think I talked about that maybe. But
yeah.
We need to find some kind of like mattress, I guess toppers is what they're called. Some kind of cushion, man, because
we sleep on these. My mom sleeps.
Okay. Yeah, man, I don't know why, but I've been getting mad tired all the time. It's probably what Choppa's been noticing. Yeah, what else has been going on, man? So, yeah, we gotta find mattress toppers to make the bed soft and the couch soft. We did buy some furniture. I think we bought a new bed for the new apartment and a new couch. But I think that's gonna take like 3 days for it to get over here, I think. What else did we buy? I know I talked about the chair, that little deer chair.
Oh, we bought a couch and a bed.
Yeah, I just said that. And I think we bought some other furniture like shelves or dresser or something.
And I'm not sure, but I think we're going to buy the camille.
Oh yeah, like a artificial fireplace, which is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be a decorative piece. I don't know if it warms up the room or not. I can't seem to remember.
It doesn't.
So okay, it's decoration.
It's just there's two kinds. There's like
Well, there's a decorative one, and then one that also can produce heat.
yeah.
Okay.
There's a TV one, and there's like the flame thing.
Yeah.
The light.
Right. So, yeah, man, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, the only thing else that we can try to do is play Grow Garden, but Grow Garden speed is very slow. And, yeah, I'm going to have to fidget around with Roblox on the Chromebook to see if it's even possible to record gameplay footage or not. So that's going to be interesting.
If you want, you can put it on my iPad.
Yeah, but how am I supposed to record footage and then upload it to YouTube?
Use my iPad.
Your iPad cannot record footage of Roblox.
No, I mean like play the game and show it like this.
Uh-huh. That's not going to work. Yeah, so unless I get the VPN, man, I don't know what we're going to do at this point. It's very tough to say, man. Most websites don't seem to want to run. Wombo works, so Wombo's good. So that's the website I use to make thumbnails. YouTube just about does not work. It's extremely slow, but I'm told with a VPN it fixes the slowness issue. So we'll have to play around and see what's going on there. And there's a lot of weird nuances, like, for example, YouTube profile pictures don't want to load. It's always a gray circle. Or it doesn't even have a gray circle. It just has a, like, image won't load icon. So a lot of interesting things. I was looking at the news. RT works. So RT, at least you can see that. Most US stuff doesn't work. InfoWars doesn't work, but one of their like streaming platforms, Band.video, does work. So that's interesting for like news if you want to get some kind of news. What else, man? What else has been going on? The weather yesterday was warm. Today it's supposed to be cooler, and then after today, we're supposed to get like 3 or 4 days of rain and cold weather, where the weather's supposed to drop down all the way to like 46 degrees. So that's going to be interesting. 46 degrees in June. Isn't that kind of a wild thought to think of, right? But I'd rather it be cold, man. I mean, I remember 2018, it was hot weather and it was miserable. Right now, it's fine. Right now, it's kind of cool and decent. All right, here's Uchapa or Dong. Welcome, Uchapa. Habibi, long time no talk. Stayed up until 4 a.m. You stayed up until 4 a.m., man. Instagram doesn't work? No, Instagram does not work. It does not work, man. Unfortunately, it does not. It won't work, and I think the reason behind that, let me see. I'll try to open up. Yeah, Instagram won't load. And here's what's interesting, and I'm trying to understand why. Apparently, according to official reasons that I've been given, Instagram does not work because the big group Meta, the group that's like Facebook, Instagram, and all that. Apparently, it's labeled as a terrorist organization here in Russia. And I mean, I would have to pull up the law or the actual specifics to tell you what exactly. So that explains that. Twitter does not work. So most social media does not work. I haven't tried Facebook yet, though. I'll look into Facebook. So you told me to use a VPN, man, but cannot use a VPN because most of the VPNs I try to access here, um, one are paid. Two, they just won't even load in general because the Russian government has it blocked. The one VPN that I was recommended to use last time I was here back in 2022 was Proton VPN, but Proton VPN has been, as far as I'm understanding, blocked now. So that's no longer an option. And I still have the app on my phone, but when I try to open up the app, it says I need some kind of like additional verification or something. And it's trying to load up a website, and then this website never loads up. So what on earth is going on with Proton VPN? I don't know. But I tried to Google other VPNs, and most of the ones I've found so far, I don't think I've even found one that will work. Can I play Roblox? Yes, I can play Roblox, but it's very limited to the games I can play. They cannot be games that are very heavy, so it can't be like strong graphics. Like I can play Grow a Garden, so Grow a Garden is playable. Um, Certain other simple games we can that they are playable as well, so they could potentially be played. I don't know if Dead Rails will work. I haven't tried to use Dead Rails. I probably will need a computer mouse, which I don't have here. I might have to find a computer mouse to plug in, and then to be able to make Dead Rails more playable. Um, if you can play Roblox on your phone, then I can join. I'm not going to play Roblox on my phone. I can play. I have two options. I can try to run it on my Chromebook or use my sister's iPad. Those are two options there. Discord does not work. I found out that apparently Discord was banned in Russia back in October of 2024. So Discord definitely is not an option. What else? So yeah, Choppa, I have not heard from Alex yet, so I have no idea where Alex is. Haven't heard any messages from him. Is he still playing with Dragon? Is he still deep into playing Black Hawk Down? Maybe Messenger? Let me take a look. Let me see if Facebook and Messenger will work. Let me see. So Facebook does not load. Let me try again because I know Facebook was trying to load the other day, but it wouldn't load much. Let me try Messenger now. All right, so I'm trying to open up Messenger. Messenger website is just about not loading. Some stuff does seem to load. Okay, well, it took me to some website. Oh, now it doesn't. So it's a very broken version of Messenger. I don't see any options for me to call anybody or to text anybody. Maybe WhatsApp. WhatsApp seems to work. So WhatsApp works. I think WhatsApp is the only meta program that seems to work here in Russia because we can still call and text people we know through WhatsApp. All right, so let's see here. Choppa says, I told him about you streaming on YouTube in Russia. So yeah, is he aware that I've done several live streams already? This is, I think, the third one. Let's see. So you can use anything. So you cannot use really. Well, it's hard. Like I can tell the weather. I can look up some news. Like the weather reports here are fine. News is extremely tough to really open up, but I don't really be reading the news. RT is fine, and then Infowars has their own version of Band.video. I think those are the only two I can really pull up right now. They seem to work that are fine. I'm trying to think what else, man. So Roblox, technically Roblox is fine, but it's just because I'm on a Chromebook, I can't really load many of the like very big games, or it's going to crash the program and crash everything really. So Roblox it's fine. It's like, so basically the way I would say it is basically it's green light, yellow light, or red light. Green light means it works fine without any issues. Yellow light means that it's basically extremely slow or slow to a certain degree, so it's not fully operational. And then red lights are basically blocked websites. So Roblox would be a green site, YouTube would be yellow, and then like Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and all those would be like red sites, basically. So that would be like kind of a basic way to explain it. So Alex is not aware that I've been live streaming. I see that. If you can play Roblox on your laptop, I can play with you. So I might be able to play on Chromebook. Like Grow Garden basically would be like well, I don't know. I would have to dig around, but Roblox is very slow to load on my Chromebook. And I think it's because not the Russian government's fault. I think it's the Chromebook in this case. Let's see. So I can talk to. I told him about it in the afternoon. Is he still playing Black Hawk Down or just playing games of Dragon only? Didn't he? I think didn't he like talk about that he's only going to be playing with Dragon nowadays? You know, some kind of craziness. Yeah, he's playing with Dragon. I figured he's going to be playing with Dragon nonstop, man. Oh man, what else, man? Do you want me to tell you about the last few days, man? I can tell you about that. Yes, he is. He was grinding the games with his friends. Yeah, grind. He was grinding with his friends, man. Yeah. So, man, the last few days been kind of crazy, man. So in Charlotte, everything was pretty much. I mean, we had a guy. I think it was a Ukrainian guy, who's, well, he's from. Let me correct myself. He was from Ukraine, but his mom is from Krasnodar, which is a place in Russia. It's a city in Russia. Um, so you could say it's hard to tell because back during the Soviet Union, basically everybody could go wherever they wanted in the Soviet Union. Kind of like how you have the EU, you can go anywhere in Europe, essentially in the EU. It's kind of the same thing during the Soviet Union, pretty much. But yeah, so the guy took us to the Charlotte airport in this huge truck, and the truck was very nice. Got to the airport. Inside the Charlotte airport, it was fine. They've done a bunch of renovations in the Charlotte airport, though. So the whole airport looks new to me now. And even though I worked there back in 2017, 2018, so 2 years, so it's kind of wild to see the airport so new. But I like that it's new, so that means it's not boring. Um, but yeah, we're flying from Delta from Charlotte to JFK, so from Charlotte to New York. But for whatever reason, man, they dropped the ball on at least a couple things I can think of, man. First of all, we asked for handicap assistance. People who would wheel us to the gate or into the airport because, my grandfather needs a bunch of help. My grandmother needs help to a degree too. They didn't do that, so we had to do it ourselves. I don't know why they didn't do that. TSA was fine. It was kind of as expected. I would even say it's a little bit improved now since when I flew out in 2022. They did have to check two things. They had to check my laptop, which they, basically I had to pull it out, which I kept getting on my mom and my grandmother. You got to put my laptop not in a carry-on. Need to check it in the bags, but they never do that. Even though no matter how many times I push them to do that, they don't do it. The only other two things they checked was I bought a sleep mask to help because the light. The sleep mask is nice because it does provide a cooling effect, but unfortunately, it's too tight around my head, and it leaves like a very bad mark on my nose. Um, so they checked that, which basically, they just felt the mask just to make sure it's nothing hidden inside the material of the mask, which I understand. And then they took out a box of Lance crackers and they swabbed it to make sure it was no kind of like nothing, um, no bad, chemicals or, the standard procedure of TSA. They want to check for chemicals, anything that makes think, they check for, I think, narcotics or any drugs. They check for any kind of explosives, any kind of harmful chemicals. Basically the standard TSA procedure. So they do that on the box of cookies or crackers. I call them. They're basically peanut butter crackers with their Lance crackers. So, they check that. They got through, and then we went through. We had to walk very far into the airport, into like what they call the new terminal or Terminal A in Charlotte, which is very pretty long walk, but it's doable. New York, of course, was crazy. TSA in New York though was very nice. So yeah, I'll talk about New York and all that later. So you've been sick with the flu for the last 3, 4 days, man. How did you catch the flu? The flu in summer, man, is wild. It looks like you are tired. Yes, I am tired. It sounds like you've had enough of this, enough of there. Uh, I don't know if I had an. I don't know if I could say that. I'm tired of a lot of stuff here. Problem is like you don't have a lot of the daily. Uh, what would you call it? I guess the daily pleasures of what in the U.S. of what basically a lot of the daily stuff you would tip there'll be that's common in the U.S. You don't have that here in Russia. So that it kind of explains a lot.
Like when it's night is
Havana in the
like
room here.
really bright.
Yeah, it's bright at night. It's not super bright. There's a place. There are a few places that we can go up north. Like they have a place called Murmansk, which is another city. I think it's like the most northern city in Russia. In this area, you only get like maybe at most 2 hours of nighttime. Here it's maybe like I don't know. Here it feels like you're getting at least 4 or 5, but it does get.
Mm-mm. By me, it feels like 1 minute for me.
You feel like it's only 1 minute a night.
Yeah.
I got you. Um, so yeah, I understand that. So let's see. When you go back to the US on Roblox, Emerald and Diamond has 100% spammed you, and they sent at least 1,000 messengers. They don't care that you went to Russia. They're sending you invites to games. I have not seen. I've the little I've played on Roblox. I have not seen any of them. So who knows, man? I mean, I have made announcement videos, so I would think. Well, they did tell me that they made a YouTube account, so I would have assumed that they either as a guest or for their account would have seen the Russia announcement video. They keep sending you invites to games. Tell me how the airport was and the struggle with your grandpa and controlling him. So Charlotte was fine. I don't think there was any issues with Charlotte other than the fact that Delta did not provide us any assistance with handicap. I don't know why they didn't do that. Maybe they forgot. I don't know what the deal with that was. But when we got to the gates, the people at the gate with Delta were helpful though. They understood basically the mistakes that they made, and they corrected it basically in New York. The plane though was very small. My grandfather wasn't really going off or acting crazy in Charlotte. I don't think he was. Um, they did have an issue putting him on the plane and the seats, like the people who were trying to move him. They're acting like they weren't doing anything or wanted to help, which was weird. But they weren't Delta staff, though. They were the Delta stewardess and people on the plane were fine. The ladies with Delta were very nice. There was one guy who was kind of annoying. On the plane from Delta because he kept trying to get me to put bags underneath the chair, and I couldn't. And I kept telling him that hey, the bag was too big, and I'm trying my best, but I can't fit on the chair with these small seats. And he was basically was like whatever, and he just kind of walked away.
And there was
There was what?
There was a nice lady. She looked nice, and she would help with everything. But then I told her not to put my backpack up in the thing because I have my iPad there. I have everything what I needed there.
Okay.
But she put it up there, and I had to be stuck with my suitcase under my chair, and that was really uncomfortable because it would hit my feet every time when we flew higher.
Oh yeah, the suitcase was hurting Anna's feet. Yeah, I understand. Um. So yeah, he was fine. I think he started acting up basically with Turkish Airlines, and I think it was because Turkish Airlines. I don't know what's up with them. I don't know why, but they have this crazy idea that they think that it's fine to make it super hot on the airplane. Man, they basically try to turn the airplane into a sauna. I don't know why they did that. And they did it for two flights: the one from New York to Istanbul and the flight from Istanbul to St. Petersburg. So that was pretty crazy, man. I don't know why they did that. And of course, my grandfather kept going crazy, saying, "Oh, guys, I'm dying here today. Goodbye, everybody. So long, farewell." And he starts like going off like these crazy tangents of all that. So yeah, he did that. But then we got to Russia. He started calming down. But in the airport, I mean, in an apartment here,
He
he's
goes
he,
crazy.
he's been going crazy, and I think it's because of one the time difference, maybe jet lag, and then the beds here are super hard, and he's been complaining about the beds being hard and that that his back has been hurting, but my back's been hurting too. So I mean, I understand him there.
My back never hurts.
The other thing that's been weird is he's been like starving himself. He hasn't been eating, and I don't know why he hasn't been doing that.
Wait for the fifth day. You don't count on the airplanes.
Yeah, he hasn't been eating for several days now, and we're trying to figure out what to do about that. So that's kind of weird. All right, so Chapa here says the cousin I had that came from Kentucky was a little sick, and I also went to swim in a river. Okay, or a lake. And then he wrote Luchansk. I don't know. I think Luchansk is a place in Ukraine. I think. I don't know. You should go to Kursk or Mariupol. Well, I think that's a war zone right now. I don't think that's would be a good idea. Are there good cities? They probably were good cities in the past. I don't know about now. I have no idea. Nanny Chapa says I would turn into that Burger King guy. What Burger King guy? Oh, I know the guy who wears the Burger King crown. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're
I
talking
don't know
about.
what he's talking about at all.
You're way too young to watch that. I don't know if your mom regrets taking him. No, she doesn't regret it because our Turkish neighbors were trying to get $5,000 for watching over him. Uh, him screaming in the airplane could have gotten you kicked out if you didn't control him. No, he wouldn't get kicked out. He wasn't screaming. He was upset though, but the stewardess were very helpful. They were nice to him. Like he calmed down, like like looking at them basically. Uh, but yeah, the Burger King guy, man, I do remember that video.
You look like you didn't sleep for 3 days.
Yeah, yeah, Choppa, you understand $5,000 and the EBT and the additional insurance card, so that's like what 750 on top of that, plus sleeping in the apartment. So I don't know, man. I'm not gonna see. Maybe there's something I'm not aware. Maybe that's why they picked up that price. But because I don't want to bash on them really too much, but it just if you look at it initially, it sounds crazy, and that's among the biggest reasons because I mean it makes more sense to buy an airplane ticket for like what do we pay like 2,000 something dollars for each person, which is still less than 5,000 plus food. It would still equal out to less than 5,000. Um, let's see. Chapa says maybe if you tell the guy to. Nah, I don't. I'm
What?
not gonna be like that, Chapa. I understand your point of view.
What?
He's talking about, who smoking cigarettes.
Oh.
Uh, but yeah, Chapa, that does make sense. But I'm not going to do that because that type of those type of comments can make people mad real quick. So I'm not gonna be like that.
I haven't told him that before. And he was like, yeah, but I can't stop doing it.
Yeah. Can you show me around the apartment? Yeah, I can. This is the old apartment. This is the original apartment here. The one that basically my grandparents had since what the 70s, I think, early 70s. Because my mom pretty much grew up in this apartment. And so this is the first original apartment. The new apartment I've taken videos of
So,
and taken photographs of, but unless we can get internet over there, I can't really live stream that
so
apartment.
the oldest is technically that it could be is so right now it's 2025. So 2025 is 53.
We mean 53.
Mom was 53.
So, well, this apartment's been around in our possession for over 50 years now. All right, but yeah, I'll show you around the apartment. So, Chapa says, I've also noticed Ukrainians and Russians be looking at live streams of YouTubers of each other's war regiment channels and find their locations. I be into the videos. And then Chapa says 5 plus 5 is not 53, it's 55. I don't know what you mean by that, Chapa.
Oh, it's monkey math.
Monkey math? Okay. All right, Chapa. Yeah, I'm not really watching in those kinds of videos though. Who else? I'm trying to think who we've had over. So yeah, my cousin, so my uncle's first son. He's been around. He's actually been very helpful this time around. He got. I found out, and I'm gonna try to take some more photos if I get a chance. But he part of his job, he was basically kind of given a car. Well, basically while he's working, he's permitted to use one of their company cards, which is a car called Haval, Haval, which I think is a Chinese company. But it's a nice car, though. I've been inside the car. It drives smoothly. It's a nice interior. Um, it's kind of interesting, but basically he gets to use that car, and I think he gets free gas as well. So basically, a free car. I don't think he has to pay for any insurance or anything, registration fees. So that's pretty good. Um, So yeah, he's been driving us around the city a little bit, but basically it's like for us to go to the furniture store because it's kind of a hassle, man. And then plus inflation has been an issue here too. So when I first got here in 2018 as an adult, that's as far back as my memory can go, remember everything. Um, we had three modes of transportation that we primarily used. We used a small, what I call very small taxi, which is called a marshrutka, and this marshrutka would basically take us from the apartment to the metro. And that cost was 29 rubles, which is not much. It's like less than, at the time, yeah, it's less than 50 cents. You're looking at almost like, yes, somewhere around maybe 30 to 40 cents, which is pretty cheap. Um, then we had like buses and then what they call like electric trams or trains, kind of. Um, they were like around 40, 40 bucks, maybe 35, 40. Um, and then the metro was around 50. You probably hear my grandfather yelling in the back a lot. Um, but now it's like the marshrutkas don't exist. You only have the buses. The buses cost 75 rubles, and then the metro costs 81 rubles. But you can get that discounted to 51 if you preload a bunch of money on a prepaid card. Um, so it's basically now over $1 to take the metro, while in the past it was like maybe 75 cents, um, which is still cheaper than what you see in the US, though. But still, it's with that price, it almost makes sense to go. We're starting to limit our travel by the metro. Um, so that's probably the new thing. Prices of stuff are have gone up a little bit, like for food, not huge though. Uh, Hold up, someone's calling me. Аня, посмотри, что бабушка хочет. Ань, посиди здесь, поговори. My grandma's going off.
We'll be back soon.
Be right back. Так, чего? Dima. All right. It's nothing, man. It's nothing. Grandma going off yelling about slippers being in the wrong place. So yeah, man, what were we talking about? So Oh yeah, inflation. So I've been looking at prices. So prices of juice, like you want to get a quart or a liter of juice, it's about 149 rubles is the average price. But you have more expensive juice that's 249 rubles, and then you have cheaper juice that I've seen 119. I think I've seen the cheapest being like 99 or 89 in some cases. Uh, let's see. I thought I heard someone pooping, and then I heard that fart noise. No, you know what that is? Um, we have some neighbors who are doing renovations of some sort, and they have a drill. And then when they're drilling into the wall, the noise kind of transfers through the whole building. So, or at least the whole floor of the building. Um, so unfortunately, that's what the noise you're hearing. Yeah, it's a drill that someone's drawing into the wall. Um, what else? I'm trying to think what else has been pricey. Candy seems to be like usually around 99 rubles. Sometimes you see it go down to 69 rubles.
Eggs.
Eggs are how much?
I'm not sure.
The eggs are sold by 10 packs, not the dozen here. So you get a box of 10, not a box of 12, like in the US. Which kind of makes more sense, to be honest, to a way. Сиди нормально, пожалуйста. Trying to think what else, man. Milk, you don't see milk sold by the gallon, but you do see stuff like liters. But I've also seen like 1.5 or 1.25, or like they'll have basically like 1.4 liter um like jugs, which is probably the biggest size I've seen so far. It used to be only a liter back in 2018, so I guess it's kind of nice that they've gone up with different sizes. Um,
Why am I the first one to be awake? Oh,
Потом давай потом это все. But yeah, food has basically gone up to a degree, and what sucks is there's no EBT cards, there's no food stamp cards like you would see in the US here. So as far as I'm aware, I don't think anybody I can think of even has anything that's equivalent to like a EBT card. So unfortunately, everyone's paying out of pocket, paying cash for everything. So a lot of people are being very frugal with the money that they're spending with food. Like they'll get the very basics and then try to live off of that. And there's some people, man, who are not getting a lot of money for their pension here. I know that. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say, but there are some things that are interesting here. So it seems like it almost makes sense, like from a foreigner or from like our perspective, to be working in the U.S. and then putting a bunch of money here into Russia, because I mean that makes kind of almost more sense in some degree. I was looking at prices of like housing here. The cheapest housing I can think of, I've seen ads for, it's like around 4 million, and right now 4 million is what is that? 4 million rubles. It's not a lot. It's cheaper than US housing, of course. What is 4 million rubles? Let's see.
$4,000.
No, you're looking about 50,000. So that's about 51,000 for the smallest apartment here, which is pretty cheap compared to prices in the US, man. Because I know our house is like what, at least 650,000. So you can get more housing or cheaper housing here. So that's definitely a plus. I know there's people who, besides apartments, there are people who build houses in the countryside. They call houses not outside cities. They usually call them dachas, but people do call them doms or houses. So that's also another option. But I don't know how much it costs to do that, though, to build all the houses and all that. What else has been going on, man? I did kind of show around the apartment before in the earlier streams. So yeah, Chopper, let me know if you're still here, if you got any more questions, man. What else? Oh yeah, there's kind of an interesting thing. So one thing I've been always going off in the past is that the AC system here sucks. Okay, you are here. Nice. So there's no AC in the building, so you have to basically play around with the windows in the apartment to get air flowing in. But because it's cooler, like this year seems to be cooler versus 2018, I think was the worst, man. It was hot every single day. But yeah, I mean, according to the weather, we're apparently supposed to get down to 46 degrees here. And that's probably going to be at night. So I'm curious how that's going to go. But I haven't had any like super cold weather here. 2 days ago, we were walking at night around 11 in the evening, and it did get kind of cold then. We did have to put on like jackets and stuff, but it wasn't like winter weather. But 46 degrees is pretty crazy to think of at the end of July, right? 46 degrees, man. Um, in Celsius, I think that's like around 7. Because I don't know, I think Rooster and Dragon, they be on Celsius. Um, but yeah, man, I am, yeah, I am tired, man. And it's because of the sleep thing. My grandfather does also go off at night too, so that's still a problem. And then, of course, my grandmother and my mom get mad and they go off on him. So,
And mommy will scratch him.
I nie надо сказать. Um, trying to think what else, man. So yeah, without a car, it is kind of it is tough to kind of walk around here, but it's doable. But it feels like it's pricey, and then you're walking a lot here too. Um, and my mom keeps like uh talking about, oh, I walked so many steps today. I walked so many steps today. Like she keeps trying to bring that up, which I'm like, whatever, man. I don't care, man. My feet been hurting. Not hurting that much today. It's more like they hurt a little bit, and in my back today. So that's been a little bit better.
А ты хочешь массаж?
Потомание, я не хочу ничего. So hello, welcome, Wiz, or was that Wizpot? Wizpot9, hello, welcome. I'm gonna delete your message here. I don't know what you mean by that. Let's see what else, man. What else? So I was looking around at like ideas of how to start a business here. Dong's like, oh, nah, he gotta go. Thought you gotta pass the mic. Yes, I remember that. Pass the mic. Um, so yeah, I was looking into ideas for like businesses here because it would, to me, it seems like it makes sense to try to open up some sort of business here and have money starting to come in. But I started trying to figure out what to even go into or what to maybe start. And I was asking around for ideas. And one thing that did seem interesting, so you can do like apartment cleaning here. Like you clean out an apartment and it will apparently run you around 10,000 rubles, which is like you're talking about like around $100 or so.
I feel like we should
And
get rid of these books.
What-
Some of them.
you want to get rid of the books here? That's a process. We'll talk about that books later.
And sell them on the Gridlock.
Нет, продавать не надо. Это дедушкин коллекция.
Why?
I was looking at eBay, so options for eBay here. So eBay does not currently ship to Russia at this current time due to the current situation going on, and but they did have a Russian equivalent called Wild Berries. And there's ads for Wild Berries across the city, or they just call it WB. So it's a Russian equivalent of eBay/Amazon. And my one of my cousins sells stuff on Wild Berries. I think she sells flowers or something. Um, and I started looking into like stuff that I've been selling in the U.S. and see if it sells here in Russia. And apparently, American coins sell here in Russia. Like they were showing just like the other day. I was looking at what quarters were selling for, and apparently, according to Wild Berries, you can sell coins for like 500 rubles, which is like over $5 for a quarter. So I'm going to have to look into that. The other issue is that everything here is in Russian, so it does take me time to figure out um, how to translate everything. So that's going to be tough. But luckily, Google does have some resources that does help me translate things from Russian into English, but it's still very limited.
Google sometimes it translates wrong. Like one time it says shelves, and the Google translated windows.
I got you. So yeah, so there is a Russian version of eBay, so that might be something to look into. But I'm gonna have to ask for my cousin to get some more information on how to sell stuff there. How does because the way we have it in the U.S. basically, I open up an eBay store. I have to have a PayPal account, and then this PayPal account transfers whatever money from eBay into the bank account that I have. But now they've changed it where basically eBay will send directly to the bank account, which is better. So probably Wildberries does something like that, but I don't know the exact details. And then plus how to I don't know how to log into a Russian bank account here to see like balance and transaction history. That's going to be something I have to look into. So there's like a lot of financial research and development that basically need to be done. And then the shipping situation. I don't know how to ship stuff here or to mail stuff here in the mail in Russia, but I did find out that there is a post office. Here they call it Pochta Россия, or basically Russia Post or Post Russia. And Аня, ты уходи, не вставай как обезьяна. Давай, сиди нормально. But it's a far walk to it. It's going to be at least like 20, 25 minutes, man, of a walk. So I'm curious how that works because I haven't seen anything that, like, I don't know if you can just put stuff in a mailbox here in Russia and then a mailman can come and pick it up and just take it off to where you need to go. But I know that the mail does arrive, like there is a mailman who brings letters into a drop box. So I'm wondering if maybe there's a way you can leave a package in a drop box and they'll pick it up. And there are like tracking number systems here in Russia, so you can track shipments. So I don't know, man. It's going to be something to kind of look into. So it is tricky. So I can try to show you all kind of the apartment now again. I did show it in a previous video, but let me see if I can do it again here. So this is like the last room, the big room here. The camera's, of course, I think it's like flipped or mirrored here. So let me see how to explain it here because I'm kind of doing it backwards. So it basically I can't go into the hallway right now. I got a lot of people there, but basically this last room here. We got this couch here which flips down into a bed, but it's a little on the hard side though. It's where I prefer to sleep right now because the other bed sucks. There's this big bookshelf complex here, or shelf, case set. Yeah, bookshelves basically. A lot of books from my grandfather's collection. He liked to collect a lot of books, different stories. Sure. Сюда надо тебе. Дай, тогда выйду. Мам, проходи сюда. Идешь сюда?
Не понимаю, зачем ты чужим людям всему миру показываешь, рассказываешь.
Про книги я и просил.
Назад иди. Спальню, еще чего? Спальню, две спальни. Коль, ну хватит тебе. Что ты действительно как дурак себя ведешь?
Ты мне мешаешь, Аня.
Ничего тебе не больно нигде.
Everyone's going off of me and doing the live streams, man. So yeah, that's been where we stayed for sleeping, man. They're going off of me on doing the live streams right now. Don't be showing the apartment, man. Don't be showing the apartment. I'm like, what's so crazy about that, man? I'm not giving out no address information or nothing. So yeah, I'll be sleeping on that couch, man. My grandfather's going off again. I need help. I need help. So yeah, I guess right now the two big projects would be to get the apartments up to like what I call comfortable. Because I mean they're livable, but I want to make them more comfortable. You know, I'm gonna suffer for a month, maybe. Who knows? But it's not even that bad. It's less than a month now. I would say it's 29 days. Maybe even less. Maybe more like 28 days though. So it's less than a month now. So 5, 6 days have passed, man. The other issue, man, I gotta figure out the water situation here, man. Because you can't drink the water from the tap here, right? Can't do that. So you got to use a water filter. The water filters we've been using sucks, and now today I just found out there's pipes that are leaking. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do there. So Chapa says here, so your mom's the one that's doing most of the shopping, and you're going to be the one carrying them. Yes. Yes, that's true, but yeah, I do have to carry them, and I don't know. I can't really say much about that. It's not well, unless we got. The problem is that my cousin is doing some work. Like he had to meet up with some Chinese clients the other day. So I don't know. I don't know how. I think he's gonna be busy for a few days though. I'll text him, ask him like what his schedule is, because I know he works like over 40 hours a week. So we'll see.
Ну не ори, я в туалет пошла.
So let's see. If your sister went, she would be. You think she'd be with a lot of boys right now? I don't know. She'll be trying. What she was doing before was that she was trying to go in with my cousin and get too drunk. I mean, that was like her crazy thing the past time. But I don't know if she'll be finding out a lot of boys. I'm kind of doubtful of that. I don't know. Let's see. Chapa says, while you have gone to Russia, I have been finding movies to watch and TV shows. What TV shows and movies have you been watching, Chapa? All right. So I don't know why, man. They all walking around this being nosy and stuff, man. It's starting to aggravate me. So I can show you the little kitchen that we have here. Kitchen is fine. I mean, problem is a lot of these appliances and stuff are not as easy to use as what you would use in the U.S. Got a little table here. So you've been watching Viking shows. Okay. That's interesting. Trying to put this camera up somewhere that everyone's keep freaking being nosy here. What have you been eating for the last few days in Russia? So last few days in Russia, the type of food we've been having, they have a lot of good food here, better than what you would see in the U.S. Mainly, I would say like Russian food. We did go to like a McDonald's restaurant yesterday. Let's see. They do have KFC in Russia, yes. Gotta go into another room again because they keep walking into where I need to go. I can't get no privacy here. They gotta walk into the room where I'm live streaming and then start criticizing me for talking about stuff. Yeah, I am tired, man. I am. So they do have KFC here. I've seen some KFC. So what's weird of KFC is I've seen some restaurants that are just called KFC. They're basically like KFC in the US. And then I've also seen KFC by different names, like they call it by different like nicknames and stuff here. I don't know why. Tell me, you please at least have a balcony. Yes, we have 2 balconies. The new apartment has 1 balcony as well. Um, dude, my grandfather is like crying in the back. Come save me! Help me! Man, I see Mena Loves Cookies is back. Welcome back, Mena. See you were playing Roblox. Nice. Man, I'm trying to think. Jeez, I can't get a room, man. I gotta start blocking the doors, man. Crazy, right? Yeah, but yeah, without my cousin, man, and his car, it's a lot tough to get around here, man. Kind of hate walking around. The one thing that's weird though I've noticed is with the amount of walking, and I haven't really been eating much. I've been eating a lot less here than what I do in the U.S. I haven't been losing weight yet, and I don't know why. What does this say? Say, can you leave me alone, or I'll leave and go drink. What do you mean? I don't mean go drink, Uchapa. You can't go where you want, which is sad. Just tell your mom to rent a car. No, we're not going to rent a car because one, my mom doesn't feel comfortable driving on the streets here. We don't know the traffic laws here. So the other option, there are taxis everywhere though. Taxis are kind of fine. There are unfortunately what they call peak hours. So certain peak hours may have very pricey taxis, but you can get taxis for low as like $5-6 here in some cases, which is very nice. Like I've seen taxi from, let's say, our apartment to like the end of the street here, which would be where. So when I mean the end of the street, I'm gonna have to do the math to figure out how long of a walk that is, but it's like an hour walk with taking the trains and everything. Um, yeah, you're probably looking at like over an hour. That would be like you can take a taxi for around 300 rubles, which would be about $5. Аня, уходи, пожалуйста.
Мне надо все собрать.
Okay, come. All right, he said, hang out with your cousin, go out with him, and have fun. You know, my cousin's busy with work, can't be hanging out with him all day. Plus, I don't know what to do, man. The only thing the only thing I care about right now is getting these 2 apartments to a comfortable situation right now, and then starting up a business. Those are my big things right now. I don't care about going to no museums, no attractions, no having fun. I don't care about all that, man. To be honest, I'm way too tired for all that. Plus, I don't even know how to be having fun right now, man. I really don't. Go to the mall there if they have one and just have a cousin day. We kind of had that already by going to the furniture store with Chapa. He did get me some food, but then I had diarrhea later, man. I don't want to start talking about that. Go eat out, walk, and go to museum. I do not want to go to no museums, no sites, man. I've been doing that for years, and I've been going to the same ones over and over again, man. I do not want to do that. I'm very firm on that. The only place my sister only wants to go to one place, though. My little sister, she wants to go to they call it the Summer Palace. Some people call it Peter Golf Palace. It's a summer palace where Peter the Great had his palace. It's kind of a nice place, but it takes the whole day to walk around there, man. It's every time we go there, it's always way too hot. I always get heat stroke, and then the next day, my head hurts the whole day. So that's unfortunately pretty annoying. What else? We have a piano here, man. This piano has been here for years. Does not work though. They never fix it. I don't know why. I'm just using it as decor at this point. Pepto Bismol to save the day. Yeah, I talked about this in the other live stream, man. I've been getting diarrhea, and I think it's because of the freaking water here. I don't think it's from the food, but I've been told to avoid like eating shawarmas and all that, even though they are pretty tasty here. But yeah, Pepto Bismol, man. Even taking, I mean, it does relieve some symptoms to a degree, but I don't know, man. I think we did bring in. Now we were smart. We did bring in some water filters from the U.S. over to here. We got some at a hardware store in the U.S. But my mom tried to install one of them, and then she noticed some pipes were leaking. Let's see here. So I'm guessing it's tradition to go to Russia, right? Yeah, it is sort of a tradition, man. And the biggest reason, see, I don't care about all the attractions and all that. I go to Russia because I want to see, the family that we have here and some friends. But I started noticing a lot of weird stuff, man. Like we had a neighbor who we were pretty good friends with, and she started apparently she had a big argument with my grandmother last year, and so they're not friends apparently anymore. And I don't know what's going on with that. Um, and I can tell you about them a little bit too, but I don't know, man. Well, I'm gonna have to start buying some Coca-Cola or something here to get me to wake up, man. So yeah, I'll tell you about them eventually later. What is this? Dong says, "Oh, I've watched your live streams, and you can see I've commented on them." Yes, I did see the comments. I know people can have some. What is this? I know people can have some trackers diarrhea. No, man, it's the water, man. When I first got here, I didn't have no diarrhea. It took like 3 or 4 days for it to start coming on, man. Um, so there are a couple of other interesting things here. So I did find out wild berries does exist across the whole, what I call the USSR countries. So you do see, so if I'm selling on wild berries, they do give me options to do like international shipping and stuff, which makes sense and does make sense to have. Because in the US you do have that, like you do have shipments to Canada, shipments to Europe, South America. I did have some shipments to Israel in the past too, and some places in Africa, and in I think I've had Vietnam before. But with wild berries, you're basically talking about the USSR countries. You got Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Armenia, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. So no Ukraine, no European stuff. So you won't see like I don't know. He almost looks like you would think he would do stuff to other countries. Like Turkey should be on the list, I would think. Russia's been kind of fine with Turkey, but I don't see it here. And then wouldn't China be on the list, man? But at least you do got some options here, so that's cool. So yeah, you can sell stuff on wild berries, but what I'm not seeing though is how to go about some stuff here. Another issue another issue I got to tell you about is the medicine, man. I got to make medicine for my grandfather every day. We didn't bring a coffee grinder to grind the tablets and stuff, and so we've been trying to find a coffee grinder here, but for whatever crazy reason, I can't find one in a lot of stores here. So that's been a very big hunt, and I'm surprised I can't find a coffee grinder. Because you would think you could just go to Walmart, buy one, or just order one off of Amazon or eBay, right? So can't find one in the store, so I'm going to have to start finding coffee grinders on wild berries, maybe. So I'm going to have to look up a coffee grinder. Let me see how much they cost. Coffee grinders, about 3,000. Well, yeah, 3,000 makes sense. So prices of stuff are kind of, to some degree, they are a little bit more pricier. But I just need like a little small one. Like we bought a coffee grinder for about $15 here in the U.S. Here it's giving me prices in like around 3,000 rubles. Maybe there's a one. Maybe this 1,000 one will work. I have to take a look. Let's see here. So yeah, I think possibly getting something kind of business going with wild berries in Russia might be an option. Otherwise, man, the only other thing that comes to mind, I guess later on in time, doing like apartment cleanings would make sense because there's so many freaking apartments around this area. And I'm pretty sure you can get people calling you or something, man. I'm gonna have to look into that because even at the price of 10,000 an apartment, that seems pretty decent. Which is like you're looking at about around $100. So that might be something to look into. But yeah, I don't know how much. I don't know. It's just a lot of like research that needs to be done, and you come over here being tired, and your mind's always in like this fog, and it's hard to like to fully wake up and understand what's going on to some degree here too. You just kind of like you're either trying to rest and sleep, or you're busy trying to do whatever you can. You have no time to really just sit back and relax and think. So that's kind of tough too. The new apartment still has a lot of work that needs to be done as well. So yeah, I can't really walk around and show the whole apartment here. It's probably going to be later in the evening or something. But I did take photos and videos, so that might be something I have to work on later. But yeah, I think the other live streams I did show the apartment. So yeah, Chopper, you got any more questions, man? Any more questions before I go or have to head out? Because everybody else is trying to be pushy, man. We'll see. We'll see what we have to do there, right? Otherwise, man, yeah, we need to get a coffee grinder. I'm really going to try to look to see if I can find some blackout curtains. What's this? So Choppa says, I don't think so, but you can talk about what more of your plans are. So I think the biggest things we need to do right now, we got to get, I think they call it mattress toppers, something that's going to make sleeping better because we got to get sleeping better. That's one of our big things. The water filters, so the clean water situation, that's another thing we have to do. So that's also on the big list. The second apartment, that might be more, I suspect more that's going to be done when my mom's husband comes over, and that's going to be like after I leave and come back to the US. So I suspect that's probably going to be more completed then. So I think today's plan right now, we're probably going to try to head to a furniture store, and then at the furniture store, we're going to probably look at tables and chairs for like the dining room and eating rooms. I know a lot of the other furniture is supposed to come in around 3 days or so 2-3 days. So when that comes over, that'll certainly make the second apartment nicer. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. I'll talk to you all later.